Just a quick reminder before we jump in. Everything we share here is personal and subjective and meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. We reflect on patterns and dynamics from our lives, research, and what we've learned from our work. But this isn't professional advice or a substitute for therapy. When we mention people like family, friends, or exes, those references are intentionally vague or altered to protect privacy and don't reflect every person in our lives who fits those labels. Our goal is to support healing, not blame. Please check the full disclaimer in the show notes for more information.
Welcome to Self-Centered, the podcast that's all about you. We're your hosts.
I'm Allie, a therapist and life coach.
And I'm Katie, a fitness coach and personal trainer. We know what it's like to feel burnt out, taken for granted, and like your life revolves around everyone but yourself.
By learning to trust yourself, prioritize your needs, and set healthy boundaries, we help you break free from guilt, overfunctioning, and toxic patterns that keep you stuck in relationships and a life that doesn't truly serve you.
Join us each week as we dive into the tools, stories, and mindset shifts you need to create a life that centers you.
Because being self-centered isn't selfish, it's essential.
Welcome back, friends, to another episode of the podcast.
Yay!
So last week we did a recap of the 8 dimensions of wellness and what it looks like when you are staying in your seat and staying self-centered within that dimension, and then what it can look like when you're not doing that. And we did this 8 dimensions of wellness initially 8 months ago, episode 4, if you need to see the OG.
Right.
And we did kind of a check-in of where are we at right now within each of these 8 dimensions of wellness. And Allie and I's seasons of life have changed as they do. And we, in some areas, have become more self-centered. And so we're going to touch on those. And maybe some of them were in a different place in a different season in life that we've become more aware of those. So we're just going to do a check-in and just reflect on where we're at and how some of the recent teachings have influenced our perceptions of where we're at in each of these areas. Hopefully we'll do more check-ins like this in the future. But I think this is a great opportunity for our selfies to reflect as well and see, okay, how am I growing? How am I becoming more self-centered? Am I changing in these areas? Am I putting the intention that I set out to when I initially heard the 8 dimensions of wellness episode and I did that reflection? Or do I have some more opportunities to work towards becoming more self-centered in those areas? And how can I frame that for myself? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Yeah.
Woo! Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right. Emotional wellness. That was the
wellness.
first one. And again, do we need to say the definition of this?
Nah.
No. Okay.
We just did it last week.
We did just do it last week. If you don't know what they are, go listen to the last 2 times that we've talked about this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So emotional wellness. Let's see. It's better.
Yay!
Yeah. Back in December, I was living in a transitional place, anticipating that I was moving where I am now, but waiting for this place to open up. And it was very far, like 45 minutes an hour from my community, basically, and the things that I enjoy, like pickleball. So I'm very happy. I moved in January, moved here. And thank goodness I'm here because it is a lot better. It just allows me to access the things like the hobbies and the people that make me feel good and happy. And even just the places where I exercise outside and with my dog, and she gets to go to daycare again because where I lived, daycare was the closest one was half an hour away. So it'd be an hour round trip to drop her off and then an hour round trip to pick her up. So things are just, life is just set up for me better, and that's helping a lot. I also love doing the pod, which is a little bit of the next dimension spiritual, because it just feels really good to be doing something that feels very aligned and is bigger than me. I really want to contribute and help other people not struggle as much as I did. So I love that we're doing this together too. It's so fun to do it with you and to create, emotionals a lot better. Yep.
Yay. I love that. So for me, what was really funny, I went back and I listened to episode 4 of the podcast to hear like where I was at with all those things. And as I'm reflecting on it now, I'm like, Oh, I have context for why I felt certain ways or why I was not aware of why I wasn't at the center yet.
Context you
And
didn't have then, right?
didn't have then,
Yeah.
right? So I remember when we did episode 4, I was like, yeah, I'm in therapy, I'm working on some things, but there was still a lot left to try to understand in therapy. And if I'm thinking in terms of emotional wellness, something that I was really struggling with for all of last year was anxiety and PTSD. It hit me heavy in January of last year. Like I was really not well. And I had started going back to therapy in February, late February, early March of last year, and started to uncover some things that, it just was a ripple effect. It made me more aware of how my environment and my relationships were influencing my emotional wellness and were influencing my overall health and my anxiety, and that my anxiety was actually a tool. It was something that was sending a warning sign.
Signal, yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't giving it credit, which is wild to me now. So at the time in therapy, I was like, I don't know why I'm broken. And now I'm like, oh, I wasn't listening.
Well, I think you were trying to decipher the message, though. I mean, I think you just thought it was noise, right? And that is something where it's hard to discern when it is PTSD and you were triggered. And so that is related to something from the past. And so I think it's pretty easy to interpret that as, oh, well, this anxiety, this feeling is just noise. The message is sending me that I'm not in a good spot or maybe a good relationship or whatever the trigger was. That's all from the past. That's not anything right now. Whereas you realize now, oh, it was a signal that there were things in my current life that were triggering me from the past because it was saying, actually, this isn't safe.
This will be on repeat if you don't fix it.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Which has been wild for me, especially related to anxiety, because I am reaching one of the first times in my life where I'm not feeling anxiety constantly.
Wow.
And I'm actually learning what it feels like to not live there.
Isn't it so nice?
It's weird. It's cool.
It's very new still.
It's very new. Mm-hmm. And I'm still not at the center. I still don't consider myself at the bullseye yet. And we were talking about this briefly in the last episode. I don't remember exactly how I framed it or how you were framing it, but the avoidance piece of, that sometimes we will busy ourselves so much and we'll like get distracted with so many things that we can't stay still and quiet. This will connect to spiritual too, but we can't stay still and quiet long enough to hear what our internal is saying to us and what that deep voice is saying to us about what our meaning and purpose is in life. But I consider that as well to the emotional sides of things, and just being able to self-reflect is I am very guilty of busying and of filling my life with things and and good things. They're things that are aligned with me in terms of things that I'm excited about with physical health. Or if I was really diving deep into this, I would be like, oh my God, it's time to go back to school. Or like, like things that are on my list that I want to accomplish in my life, but right now is not the time, right?
Right.
And if I was to dive into them, I would be ignoring that there's still more work for me to do. So I was talking about this in therapy recently, and I was like, I'm not feeling anxiety right now, but I think that's just because I came off of such a high intense period that I'm like, oh my God, everything feels like roses and daisies. Yeah. And I did this after my divorce too. I ended therapy, one, because I couldn't identify things to work on, because the juxtaposition and the contrast of I feel so good compared to the hellhole that I just came out of.
Right.
Was like, oh yeah, I must be great. I must be coasting. Whereas in reality, I was like, oh, I'm barely popping my head above water right now, but it feels good to breathe.
Right. I think you have to integrate where you are too first before then. You know what I mean? It's almost you needed to take that time off therapy in order to integrate, and then, And now you're in a different place.
I am. And there was a moment over the last 2 sessions in therapy where I had said to my therapist, I'm like, everything feels good, but I know that there's something else that I need to deal with. I just don't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
And I started to realize some of what it was in this recent, because it was the first time when I brought it up, it was the first moment that the anxiety came back. And I was like, oh no.
Are you going to tell me here or after?
It's related to family stuff
okay.
for me. Yeah. It's nothing super negative. It's just things that I'm avoiding. Yeah. And I'm realizing that I've been avoiding them and just differences, you know? I don't know that it'll ever resolve, but I do know that I need to come to peace and
Need
find
to
a way.
acknowledge it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm not at the center yet, but I'm starting to see how I get to the center, which I think is what's different.
For sure. There's a roadmap. There's a vision.
Yeah.
If you were going to give yourself points, the center is 10, middle is 5, and out is 1. And it doesn't have to be 1, 5, or 10. It could even be 6, 7, or 8, or
It's 7.
Okay. Love it.
It's 7. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
definitely.
great. I love it. I remembered something about my emotional dimension that I want to add. So recently, in the last week, I have been more triggered than I've been in years and having emotional and somatic flashbacks. And it's been really, really, really intense and very, very painful. And even though those moments are so hard and it feels like I'm so pulled into almost completely disconnected from how I actually feel in my life now. Like it really just sucks me in. And that has been very, very hard. And that's related to some things that are triggering me in my life right now. And if my baseline before those triggering things happened hadn't increased since December, I don't think that I would be okay. I mean, I would find a way to work, but I really would be struggling. I think it would probably be at the point where I'd say, Katie, do you think you could come out here? Like literally, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's incredible that I'm in the place that I'm in where I can really hold that. And that speaks to the resilience we were talking about last episode of how being in a better place with your emotional wellness is a buffer for those hard times, right? So emotional wellness isn't just feeling positive all the time and avoiding hard things. It's actually builds that resilience so that you can hold hard things when they happen.
And you know, to your credit as well, you having the self-awareness to see what it was that you needed in those moments of like, yeah, I need to be closer to places where I don't have to drive an hour to everything, where I have connection, putting yourself into like your pickleball leagues and like finding things that make you happy and bring you joy and setting yourself up for success there. Had you not made those choices and done those things and made those connections, that also would have made all of these experiences that you're having now so much harder.
Right. For sure. Yeah. And I think the closer that you are to your center and the closest that you've ever been to your center. So even if you're not in your center now, if you've been 10 out of 10 smack dab in the middle, or if you've been 7 out of 10 and now you're a 4 or 5 out of 10, but you have the reference for, well, this is what I needed to stay centered. That is really helpful information for helping you know how to get back there, and also helps you see the light at the end of the tunnel, even if you're not at the light at the end of the tunnel and you're still in the dark spot. I think that's part of the resilience. It helps you recognize, okay, but I can get there. And I'm okay in this holding pattern where I am right now. Just hold on. And or if I need additional support or help, then I'm going to do that. Like I'm going to increase therapy or start going to therapy if I'm not, or that kind of stuff. So yeah, hopefully y'all can take something from that as well. All right, spiritual.
Let's do it.
So spiritual wellness, gosh, it's so weird to not give a definition, but we literally just did, so I'm not going to. I truly have always had a really strong connection to my purpose and my mission, and I think it's just gotten clearer over time. And the pod is a huge part of that for me. And recently, I have really been feeling like, you know, coming out of survival mode, I haven't been able to be still and really listen to my intuition or be spiritual in the more woo sense of feeling connected to and in communication with the universe. I think I'll just use that general term. I have been wanting to meditate and practice mindfulness, and it's been really hard for me to get myself to do that. And I think part of it is because I've been chronically ill, which I'll talk about in the next dimension of physical. But one of the things that's been happening for me that's been really helping me be at an 8 probably out of 10, and I really feel like I can get to 10 out of 10 in the next few months, is because my physical dimension is better, which I'll talk about in a second. I am able to exercise more. And because I'm able to exercise, my body is also able to rest. Yeah. Because I need to, I mean, you would probably know more about this, but when I work out, after I work out, I lay down and I meditate.
Yeah.
And that's my new thing, is I lay down and I meditate. And even if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I meditate, and it's really been helping me get into that place. And I realized that, oh, wow, it's actually hard to be mindful when you're holding all this shit that you can't exercise out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%.
And by exercise out, I mean that you can't, the word that comes to me is metabolize. It's like I can't process it. I can't integrate it in a physical animal way. And so if my animal self, my physical self isn't, I don't know what the word would be, if it isn't, I do think that I need to exercise in order to release what isn't mine. And then that allows me to really tune into what is me, if that makes sense. But we'll talk about more about that in the physical. But that's been really incredible. And that's where I am right now with the spiritual.
I love that. Mm-hmm. For me, I actually think I'm even farther now.
Farther away.
Yeah, I did a little back. I was chilling in the middle ring. I haven't made any progress forward.
Well, it's okay if you've gone back.
Well, for sure. I'm trying.
That you went back?
No, it's still the same. So I'm looking at what I had said prior, and prior I was chilling out at a 5. There was no movement that I was making forward and nothing intentional. I will say my personal experiences over the last 6 months have detracted me from my personal mission because I've had to put more attention and energy towards my emotional and my like I've put my energy elsewhere. Yes. So it's taken me away from the personal mission piece of it.
For sure. And spiritual, if we think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we could come up with one of those for dimensional wellness, but you do need to take care of your basic needs before you can get to spiritual. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'd say I'm still in the middle ring. I'm just a little bit lower on the middle ring. Before I was a 5, I'm a 4 now.
Okay. Yeah. Is it the pod that you're talking about? What is the bigger...
I was more excited about my growth as a trainer, about my career path, about my investment in the pod, about like all of those layers that go into my personal mission of helping other people. That was so much stronger before I was, I'm dealing with all these plates that are spinning and flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was able to like take moments of my time in my life and put energy into the personal mission. Whereas right now I don't feel like I'm able to do that in the way I want to. Yeah. I will say though, things I am doing, and this is again, partly because of the work I'm doing on the emotional wellness. I started journaling, literally started yesterday. So we're not going too far, but I did start journaling because one of the things, like I mentioned in emotional wellness, is that I'm really guilty of busying myself. And so I am realizing I need to sit in quiet more. And I'm super comfortable with sitting in quiet with myself. Like that's not the problem. The problem is I don't make time for it. Yeah. I like it, but productivity is really a high value for me. And it's something that I often have previously attributed a lot of my worth to. So if I am doing that, then I'm not making time for the stillness. Yeah. And that's something that I need to spend more time tapping into. And that's something I'm trying to make space for, which also connects to my little no punch card that I talked about last episode. I'm saying no to more things so I can do more things in terms of sitting with me.
That's great. Oh, I love that. Good. Okay. So physical. Okay, this is very exciting. I gave myself a 1. I don't know if I gave myself a 1, but I gave myself the outer ring, which would be between 1 and 4. And I think I would probably give it a 3 back then. Now I would give it like a 6, which is incredible.
We love that.
Huge. Yes. So my chronic migraine, it's, when your baseline is shitty for so long, when you're chronically ill for so long, you don't realize how bad it is. And part of that, I think, is protective, because if you realized how bad it was, how would you keep going? I mean, I knew it was bad. Socializing was hard. Working was hard. Hygiene, taking a shower was hard. I mean, I literally would some days, cooking for myself, some days I would have to plan out, okay, you're going to take a shower and then you have this much time where you can go lay down because the shower took so much out of you. And then you can work with this client, and then, okay, you can't cook today because you're too exhausted. So it was just constant trying to figure it out while also having a puppy who needs to be exercised. So I'm so much better. I'm going to get even better. I just finally started this preventative medication that it took the doctors a really long time and multiple insurance denials for me to start on. It's been incredible. Right now, I'm a little in a rougher spot, but it's temporary because I deliberately went off a lot of supplements that impact my hormones, because I'm going to be doing hormone testing at the end of the month because they think that my hormones contribute to my migraines, which makes sense because they're worse in my luteal phase and my menstrual phase. So yeah, it's very exciting. Even with me, right now I have a headache every day because I'm off of these supplements, but being on the preventative migraine thing, it allows me to function well enough and for the symptoms to be low enough that I have been exercising regularly. And before, I haven't been able to do that. So it's been incredible to be able to work out my core, and then for my core to stay strong because I can work it out again and again and again. And my posture is getting better, which is reducing my overall pain. It all impacts each other, and it's really, really, really great. And then, as you know, exercising helps with the emotional piece, and it helps with the spiritual piece because then I can meditate. So it's awesome. Physical impacts everything else. So very happy. And I said I'd give myself a 6 now. Yeah. It's very exciting. And it's going to increase. Yeah.
I love that. I love that for you. And I know that's been a struggle for you for so long. Like, you were super sad that you weren't able to do those things and that you weren't able to be active. Because that also, we'll talk about it in a second, but it also impacts your social wellness too. Because
all of these, we keep wanting to go for it. They all impact each other.
They do. And that's the reminder too. And I meant to say this on the last episode, but I forgot. We talked about, and you said specifically, the sum. You said it better than I'm going to say it, but the sum is sometimes more important than the individual parts.
Yeah, the sum is even greater than the phrase "the sum is greater than the parts" is an idiom that means a whole entity is more powerful or valuable than the individual components that make it up, due to the synergy that arises when the parts are combined and interact with each other.
Yes. Okay, so that was one of the things that I wanted to say, is that we put a metric to each of these individual parts. It can be helpful to put the number to each of the individual parts so that you can see what might most be influencing the sum, because all of these tend to influence each other. So you're seeing that physical wellness is influencing your social wellness, influencing your spiritual wellness, influencing your emotional wellness. So if you saw that, oh, my physical wellness is a 1 and all the others are sitting at a 4 or a 5, it could be tempting to say, let me put my energy towards these 4 or 5s. Right. But you can't even actually fix the 4 or 5 because it's being brought down from the physical wellness being chilling out at a 1.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you brought the physical wellness up to a 5, then all the others are naturally going to increase.
Right. There's the synergy of it, but there's building blocks, right? I mean, you need energy in order to socialize. You need energy to work for financial wellness. Yeah, I completely agree.
I love it. So for me, physical wellness, 8 months ago, I gave myself a 1 out of 10. And
I didn't remember that. Oh my God.
I literally listened to the episode right before this too, just to make sure I remembered everything.
1 out of 10.
I gave myself a 1 out of 10. And now that I'm looking back, it's sleep. I did bring that up during the episode. I had So that was coming off of the trip with you.
Yeah.
Where I came to see you. And that October, I had not, it was like October 9th that I saw that, because my Garmin tracks my sleep data. And I was curious and I checked, when was the last time I got 8 hours of sleep? And it was like, October 16th. I'm like, that's great. That's this month. And I was like, wait a second. No, October 16th hasn't happened yet. That was last year. A whole fucking year ago was the last time I got recommended 8 hours of sleep. My sleep average was like 5 hours a night.
Yeah.
I've been on the struggle bus.
I would be dead.
Yeah, I felt that.
You're like, yes, I was 1 out of 10. I was the Walking Dead. I was a zombie.
And the other thing, so one of the reasons that I put myself in the outer ring, aside from sleep deprivation, I was also sleep deprived because I was overextending myself for the environment that I was living in and the relationships that I had.
Right.
Like,
yes.
all of my time and energy was being spent towards, okay, I got to take care of this thing. I got to take care of that thing. Well, I'm not having the support that I need in this area. So I got to overextend and I got to overfunction to make this happen. Or, okay, well, this conversation needs to happen. All of my emotional energy is going to this. Like, it was just constant. And so I remember too, any free moment that I had to myself, I was stuck in a doom scroll, and like I was drawn to just go lay in bed and become a zombie mentally because I was just so overwhelmed. And so I couldn't like spend time sleeping, like truly resting. 2, I wasn't exercising at all. So over that year and a half period, I gained like 20 pounds. I did not feel myself. You guys know that I got out of a relationship recently. Within a month and a half of getting out of that relationship, I lost 20 pounds. Fucking wild. And I've been exercising regularly again.
Yeah,
I've
we
started
see
running
you
again. I don't think so.
Yeah.
It was probably like a month and a half ago. I had the first moment during a workout in probably 2 years where I was like, there I am.
Yeah.
I finally feel like myself for a moment. I remember her. Because I'm athletic and I consider myself an athlete as far as my physical ability when I'm actually training. But because it had been so long and because I had been spread thin in so many areas and I had to neglect my physical wellness because I didn't have energy, time, or capacity for exercise or sleep. Yeah. I didn't feel like me. Yep. I didn't feel like an athlete. And yeah, I was doing this one random exercise and I was like, there I am. I'm back to feeling, and even on my Instagram story, I remember when I posted it, that was the caption that I made, finally feeling like myself. Like something like that.
I love it.
It's crazy. So I feel so much better in that. I'm not to 100% yet because the sleep is still a slow improvement.
What number out of 10?
I would probably say, because sleep is so important, somewhere between a 6.5 and a 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
close.
a big boost. And you're working on your sleep, so.
Yeah, and it's a get my consistent routine. That's the biggest thing, is consistent routine, and it's going to feel so much better. I am making daily intentional progress.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Social wellness. I am in a rough spot. I don't know what I gave myself last time. It's better than it was because now
I didn't have a direct rating.
Because now I live closer, but a lot of the people who were part of my community before just aren't now. We're in different places in life, and that's tough. Pickleball has been helpful in terms of getting out and socializing, but the people aren't anywhere close to my age, and I really would love that. I have joined Meetup. So I'm part of 2 pickleball leagues now, which is great, and I do 1 open play a week, which is fun. And I did a meetup for Active Group in Burlington and just did a run with them a couple days ago. And that was nice. They were really welcoming. I didn't really feel like I was going to click with any of them, but it was a nice thing to do if I want to run every once in a while. They don't run every week. They just do 1 active thing a week. And then I've also signed up for Bumble BFF, and I'm talking to a few people. I have a few matches who are around my age, so that's been nice, and they have similar hobbies. None of us have gotten together, but it seems like that might be promising. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, right now is feeling kind of isolated. It's hard also working remotely, and everyone that I interact with for my job is a client, and I'm not allowed to be friends with them because of the nature of my job. So even though I love a lot of them in that I would love to be friends with them if they weren't my client. I can't be friends with them. So, that is a tough spot right now, but working on it. I'm making more progress than I was last time we checked in. So I don't know what I would give myself then. I think I'd give myself a 4 right now. Yeah. So we'll chat again though in several months, maybe 6 months or something, and hopefully I'll let you know that I have some friends that don't live across the country. Only live across the country.
I do love that you're using the tools and the strategies that we had from the How to Make Friends as a Grown-Ass Adult episode, though.
Yeah, go listen to that. Yeah. And I do have friends still, just to be clear, everybody. It's just that, they're in different places in life. Mostly they have kids and or they live far away and or their careers or work schedules are just opposite of mine. So, but we working on it. We working.
For me, I did not give myself a rating last time, but I did mention that I need to have better boundaries within my relationships. And one thing I did not realize is that I needed to lean into friendships far more than I was at the time. The episode about AEDP thing came after.
Right. Yeah, which if you haven't listened was me saying one of the reasons that we struggle emotionally and mentally, if we do struggle more emotionally and mentally after a trauma or period of stress in our lives, we're more likely to struggle if we went through that alone and we didn't have support and connection through that.
And I realized around that time that, I have a habit of self-isolating whenever things get hard. And so I'm just perpetuating my own trauma. So that's one of those things too. We've talked about how sometimes life happens to you and you get dealt a set of cards. You have to put one down and pick another one up.
Yeah.
And that for me is an example of, okay, I'm going to put down the card of self-isolating and I'm going to pick up the card of we're going to bring in the people that are choosing and willing to be close to me and willing to be a support network and really lean into those friendships. And when I went through my recent breakup, that's kind of when I realized how many people I did actually have, because I also have a belief that people don't want to hang out with me and that people don't particularly like being around me and they're just being nice. And when I went through that breakup, what was wild is I very nervously reached out to a handful of friends. I think it was like 8 or 10 friends from the gym, from my fitness community. And I was like, hey, I need help moving on this day. And I feel really bad for asking. Like, I literally was pricing out movers multiple times over. I was like, maybe I just won't ask. And again, self-isolation, but I'm like, I'm not going to self-isolate. So I had set the date and these people showed up early and we got my whole fucking place moved within an hour and into the new place within an hour. And then all of them were like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that you let me help you.
Oh, yeah.
They came to me and they're like, you don't realize how much it means that I was finally able to give back to you. And we love you so much. And we just want you to know that you're supported and we're here for you. And I was like, oh my gosh. I have a photo of it that is
now on Katie's Instagram, so you can go find it.
It is on my Instagram. Yes. It's a photo of all these amazing people surrounding me. And I'm so grateful for it and for them. And I am proud to say that I've made intentional choices and intentional plans to see these people outside of the gym and to do social things with them and to put myself in more social situations, which is like really weird for me as an introvert. I won't say that I'm 100%. I'm not at the bullseye yet. I'm really close. I'd say I'm like an 8.5 right now. What will take me to a 10 is me being better about initiating and organizing these things on my own, as opposed to just saying yes to the invite, but also to be the one to create the invite.
Ooh, if you need help with that, let me know.
Level.
I love stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. My relationships are so much better. I've removed the relationships from my life that were not serving me, which is amazing. Difficult, but amazing. And I'm really leaning into the relationships that I see are mutually beneficial and that we're all self-centered. That, are people that are not draining to me because we've actually worked on our things and we're consciously choosing to be better for ourselves.
You've strengthened your egos. You've matured emotionally.
Yes.
Love it. All right, financial. I don't know what I gave myself.
You gave yourself a 1.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So financially back then, yeah, that was rough. I mean, you can go listen to the episode, but I was put in a pretty rough financial situation because of a relationship that I was in. Well, I guess I can shorten it really quick. Quick summary is that I was in a relationship where they convinced me to let them financially take care of me, meaning pay for my life, while I took time off from working after I left working for an employer and before I started my own business. And then we broke up and I still had not built my business fully yet. And at the same time, there were a lot of things that didn't end up being paid for. So yeah, that put me in a rough situation, plus paying for moving and da 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 da. Okay. So now I am definitely in a better situation because I am finally living where I'm going to live. And I have had the time to build my business. I'm definitely not 100% there. I definitely still have some credit card debt that I'm trying to get rid of. I feel pretty limited in terms of the other dimensions, especially social. Like I want to come see Katie basically. And a little bit occupational, although, we don't make money from this podcast, but I think of it as a job. So I really want to be able to come out to California and get some B-roll for our reels and stuff and like maybe get some pictures done for social. And financially, I can't do that yet. So I'm still limited, but I'm definitely not a 1 anymore, which is great. I would put myself, I would say 6.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a big improvement.
Yeah, it's a big improvement. So what do I need to get to a 10? I need to get more clients, which the physical improvement helps a lot with because I have the capacity to be able to work with more clients. And I have started marketing myself in more than just Vermont, which I thought I was marketing myself in Vermont and California, but I had to get a whole new psychology today for California. So now I have that and I'm getting clients from both states where I'm licensed as a therapist. And then I continue to work with my coaching clients and I'll be starting 1 day a week working with kids whose parents can't financially access therapy for their kids or can't bring their kids to therapy or coordinate that. So I'll be going to a school 1 day a week so that I can meet with the kids. And I'm going to do it in a way that allows them to financially access the therapy. So I think that's going to be great in terms of my purpose and wanting to give back. But then also I'll be making some from that, not as much as with my adult clients, but I think it'll be good. And it'll get me out of the house, which helps with connection. And maybe I'll meet some teachers, make some friends. My friend said that there are people there who play pickleball. So
Love that.
yeah. So that's financial.
I love that. It sounds like a great opportunity. For me, I still feel like I'm in the middle ring. I am surviving comfortably on a day-to-day. There's places that I want to grow in terms of my savings and my investing to feel more secure. I think that was the one major drawback of this breakup that I went through is that now my cost of living is a lot higher because I'm one person paying for rent that was very close to the old place that 2 people were paying for. So that part's hard. However, there are other things that I'm saving in a lot, which is helpful. And I'm able to make choices that are aligned solely with my financial values as opposed to, you make compromises when you're in a relationship and those are fine compromises. And I'm grateful for the memories that they made, but yeah, I'm glad I don't have to make them anymore.
Definitely.
So that'll help me long term.
Cool. All right. Occupational. So I've always loved my job and I've wanted to do this since I was 14. So yeah, that's great. I recently, just because I've been struggling, similar to what you were saying about how the spiritual, it's hard for you to focus on your purpose when you're just trying to be okay. Since I have recently been having these triggers and dealing with that, it's been a little harder to show up as a therapist. I still do, but it is definitely harder. And I would still put myself, I think I gave myself a 10 last time. Yeah, I would still give myself a 10. I love my job. It's aligned. Also, the ego episodes that we did recently made me really excited and inspired to do more psychodynamic training. So I am looking into a 3-year intensive training.
Deal.
Yeah. And
But also that's exciting.
yeah, I'll tell you more about it because I might have to fly out to California 4 times a year
Oh, darn.
for 3 years in a row.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, so I just have to make sure financially I could do it. But yeah, I'm going to look into that, hoping I can do it. That's kind of in the works right now, looking into it, and got to keep it fresh.
I love it. I love it. Occupational wellness for me, still love my job. The thing that is different that I didn't realize, because when we recorded 8 months ago, like I said, I had the PTSD and the anxiety and all the things that were going on that I didn't know where they were coming from. And my work was one place that it was not coming from. And so that rated so much higher. I was like, oh yeah, I'm at a 10 in my occupational wellness. And what's different is that I'm realizing I need to create a little bit better boundaries in terms of how much I work because I'll burn out. And I'm doing much better about that. I mean, the new year was when I started finally taking a second day off. So I actually had a weekend starting in January because I did reach a phase of like, I'm basically about to burn out. So I take a full weekend now, which is lovely. I'm much better about taking holidays. I don't think I've missed a holiday this year in terms of taking one, which is a first for me.
Yay.
I used to work every single holiday, every single one. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. So that part has definitely improved. What I think is off is, again, just because I have been mentally, emotionally distracted with dealing with personal matters and just resolving those components, I haven't been able to invest my mental and time and energy into this work, which is a big part of my purpose, both my personal training career and the work through the podcast. I mean, those are both pretty intertwined. There's a lot of crossover because my personal training career, most of my clients are not just there for fitness. Actually, the vast majority are not just there for fitness. Most of them are like, oh no, you see me as a whole person and you realize that there are barriers to me achieving my fitness that are not fitness related.
Yeah.
I mean, I was literally having a conversation with a client yesterday. She was expressing like, yeah, it's just really hard to like get my mobility work done, which is the mobility thing is what's enabling her to be able to run, which is her passion physically and is a big part of her goals. But if she's not able to do the mobility, she is at a risk for injury, which increases her anxiety too, because she's been injured before. So there's a lot of layers to that, right?
Yeah.
And so when I brought up, I was like, oh, okay, well, what do you think is getting in the way of that? What's going on in life that's holding you back? And immediately it was a flood. It was tears. It was, and she was like, I'm neglecting so much because I feel like I have to clean the house and do this, and productivity is so much a thing. And I was like, and I actually taught her about the dimensions of wellness.
Yay!
That's the difference in terms of my work. My work in fitness is not just, hey, get a hard workout in. It's okay. There are barriers to your physical potential that are not physical. And I am here to help you understand what those are and see the whole picture. But I haven't been able to do that the way that I want to do that and invest in the education that I want to continue growing in within my occupation. Like there's a whole running certification that I've been meaning to get to for a year now that I just haven't done and I haven't been able to do because I am distracted dealing with these other components right now. So I would say right now it's closer to a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still good and it'll get better as all the other areas improve.
Love it. Love it. Intellectual. I said 10 last time and it's a 10 this time. I don't think that'll ever change. Here's the thing. I can be chronically ill and still be intellectually stimulated because learning, thinking, researching, coming up with podcast stuff, meeting with my clients, understanding them, helping them, figuring out how to help them, continuing to learn and get training. Yeah. It's nice that intellectual is one that I think I have access to no matter what.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. We love having a firm foundation for something.
Yeah. I think it would be fun and nice to have more friends that I can regularly have interesting conversations with, but I think I'm still a 10 because I'm pretty good at, I guess maybe I'd give it a 9 then if there's something I could do, but yeah, it's pretty good.
I love that. That's one. I don't think I even touched on intellectual when we did ours last time, but that's one I definitely want to improve on. I'd probably say I'm at a 4. The most intellectual engagement that I get right now is through the podcast. And because I mentioned in the spiritual piece in terms of my mission and whatnot, I just haven't been able to give the energy that I want to the things that are purpose driven and mission oriented for me. It's not where I want it to be. And like I just said in the occupational, like there's education and training that I want to do, but I just haven't had, time and resources. Yeah. What I will say that's changed, and this is something that I didn't entirely expect. When I went through the breakup, you forget that when you have a partner, a significant other, you're always sharing.
Yep. The little micro moments of every day and your reactions, or you're texting them, I'm waiting for my car to be worked on and here's what just happened in the waiting area.
And that was something that was really great about my relationship for most of it, is we were able to have intellectually stimulating conversations. That part I do miss and I'm sad about, because when you live alone, it's just quiet.
Yeah.
The dogs don't talk back unless they're just barking or growling. I can't understand.
Buggy's very intellectually stimulating, but she makes up for it in other ways.
And I think that's why also my social media has been like, I'm doom scrolling too, because there's snippets and moments of like, oh, that's really interesting. Because I have a lot of researchers and PhDs through my social media. And so there are moments where I'm like, oh, great. That fulfills, this intellectual piece that I'm learning this new bit of information. But it's so consumable and bite-sized, and it's made for social media.
It's not nuanced as you want it to be.
Yeah, and the people I follow are nuanced about it, which I appreciate.
Okay, yeah.
But it's not a conversation. It's not we're having a dialogue about it. It's, oh, okay, I'm getting this piece of information, storing it, saving it for later, great, move on. Whereas I love the dialogue. The dialogue is so stimulating to me.
That's why we need to live near each other.
I know.
Like, yeah, you should be the one to talk, Allie.
Our fucking couch talks, girl. Every fucking night. I don't know if we've mentioned this before probably, but it's been a long time. Yeah. When Allie and I lived together. It was every night we would just lay on the couch, and I would lay on the ottoman with my head on the couch, and you'd sit on the couch, and we would watch Lucifer. And then sometimes we'd pause and be like, hey, what about this thought?
Totally. Yeah, and Katie knows so much about the Bible that during that whole show, she would tell me all the references and teach me about it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's just like, that's a piece that I miss, is being so physically close to people who also share intellectual curiosity and can dialogue about it, because that's what I would prefer my day-to-day communication to be. I have a few friends that are that way. They're in their own relationships, so it's not.
Yeah, and also you could have friends who love to have dialogue, but maybe they're interested in different things than you are. You know what I mean? So it could be lots of different things. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one, it's lacking right now, but one day soon.
One day soon. We'll keep you updated on when the day is. All right, last but not least, environmental wellness. So Katie and I both moved since we last recorded. Obviously, I will only speak for myself. So environmental wellness before was not good for me. What number would I give myself? A 3, maybe? It was contributing significantly to my stress. I think it was contributing significantly to my physical wellness, aka my physical illness. And that was a huge, huge stressor the last 2 places that I've lived, which was neither of those were with Katie, to be clear. Being where I am now, I live by myself. My kitchen is my kitchen, my bathroom is my bathroom. It's incredible. I've never had that before. It's still definitely not exactly where I want it to be, but it has come so far, so far. I'm getting it organized. I'm finding spaces for everything because I like everything to flow. I like every item to have a home, and I have ideas for decorating, and eventually I'll be able to have people over and entertain, which is something that I love to do. So when I get friends, just kidding. So Yeah, it's really, really great. It's such a good fit for me in terms of how close I am to daycare, to the social things that I want to be a part of, to the outdoor exercise. I wake up in the morning and I look outside the window and I see green trees. It's wonderful. Bug, my dog loves it. It's great. I'm very, very, very happy. What would I give it? Before I said a 3, I would give it now a 6.5. I'll give it. So it's come pretty far, and I think it's going to get closer. I don't think it'll be a 10 staying here. I think that I'm probably eventually going to move out of Vermont. I don't know. I need to be near Katie no matter what. My platonic life partner.
We have talked about this. And you know what? I have another set of friends. I'll name them later because you know them. But I have another set of friends, her and their spouse. And then they have a platonic third. It's their like bestie, both of their besties.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we actually want to move to Chicago together in a few years and buy not a condo complex, but like basically have a set of like cottages on the same property.
Yeah.
And all live together.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, to like each have our own space, but also like we want a community living space.
Yeah.
Like we want to be able to share in life together. This person
or all live on the same street in the same neighborhood, something like that. Yeah.
But this person that I am referring to, they were one of the first people to communicate this so clearly to me, but it's like, we fail to put enough stock in our platonic relationships. Like we believe our significant others should be all the things and should be able to fulfill and check every box for us. And that's just not realistic.
We should flip it. I think we should flip it. I think our platonic connections, that's our community. And then our significant other is like the cherry on top if we have one, or if we have more than one,
Yes.
We are.
And that's exactly what they
were.
And that's what they were saying is that like polyamorous relationships are based off of the knowledge that it's unrealistic to expect one person to be all the things for you. And so you can appreciate each person and what they bring to your life and the things that the needs and the wants and desires that they fulfill for you. When she shared that alongside the AEDP thing, like just connecting more
Katie's
to
like, I gotta stop somebody.
Oh my God.
It really got
so
through to
mad
her.
about it. But it just gave me so much more appreciation for why protecting quality friendships is so vital and why fostering that and putting that higher on my list of importance is so vital.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yep.
All right.
Love that.
Environmental for you.
For
How's
me,
your spot?
My spot is fucking great. My environmental wellness has gone up so much, and I did not realize how bad it was before.
Neither did I, by the way, just to be clear. Yeah, it's rough when you're living with someone else and the environment's not good and you don't realize it's bad and then you leave and you're like, oh shit, it was the monkey.
A little story time, just a little bit of story time. This is the last one, so I feel like I can go story time. So I lived in a beach community. That's where Allie and I lived together for a while. I lived in a beach community during COVID. I moved there. That was my first place that I moved to after my divorce. And I lived there for like 3.5 years or something like that. I loved it. And I also lucked out that I went to this beach community during the pandemic. So the beach community was not also a party community. It was just a beach community. So it was great. Everyone was super active. It wasn't super loud and rowdy. It was all outdoor, running, paddleboarding, hiking, swimming, all the things. It was amazing. I loved it. And it wasn't crazy loud. It was great. And I remember when I moved in with my now ex-partner, just for what we compromised and needed, and it was a valid compromise, and I still think that it was the right decision given the information that we had at the time. What we compromised on in order to have the things we both needed in a shared living space, we had to move away from the beach, and we had to move away from an urban space into a more suburban space. Mm-hmm. And I love being close to things. I love being able to walk to my grocery store and my local coffee shop and being close to green spaces and outdoor spaces that I can exercise in and that have views and that are scenic and peaceful. I don't want to just live surrounded by homes. I want us to live surrounded by things that bring me joy, that are easily accessible. And I remember when I left the beach, I told my now ex-partner this. I had said, I am so bad because it just feels like I'm abandoning myself by leaving the beach. And I'm feeling really anxious about this move because of that. And at the time, it was very much just about, oh, well, the beach was the first place that I chose for myself because I was in a military relationship beforehand. So we just got moved whenever he got moved, right? But the beach was the first place that I had chose for myself. So I thought it was a lot of that. But I'm realizing that there were needs within my space and community that I hadn't given enough weight. And when I moved to my new spot, when we went through that breakup, I prioritized that and I moved back to a more urban setting. It's still got like a cute little quaint vibe to it. So it's still a lot of residential, but I'm literally a block from, I think, 3 coffee shops. I'm 3 blocks from a few of my favorite bars. I'm 2 or 3 blocks from like a local, actually, there's 3 local grocers near me. Like, it's just so close to everything.
I cannot wait to visit.
I know.
Green
It's
spaces. I keep seeing things on your pictures on your stories, and I'm like, oh my God, that looks amazing. I didn't know that existed. I can't wait to go.
I know, right? And like, I mean, San Diego is known for its beach, of course, and access to the ocean. The area that I'm in, I'm sad that it's not at the beach. That was like the one thing that I was bummed about. But at the same time, the area I'm in it's literally a giant reserve park.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And so there is a lot of green space and a lot of old trees and that sort of thing. And like trails and walking trails and hiking trails. And there's just so much near it that it feels like more than just a city block, which is really important to me. So I love that. I'm closer to work now, which is great. I literally, like, on the weekends, I will park my car and I won't leave, which never happened before. Like, I'll go 3 days without getting in a vehicle because I'm so close to everything. I can walk to everything. It's great.
Really good. Oh, I'm so happy.
That's improved tenfold. And just living on my own is also a massive improvement because I did not realize how much I was doing and overextending myself and overfunctioning we just had so many needs. And that's like, there's nothing that was entirely either of our faults. I mean, we had 5 dogs together. That's a fucking lot. That's a lot to manage. So that's neither of our faults. It was just not the right setup for us and to take care of both of us in a way that was manageable. So yeah, it's so much better just having my things that I control. I remember literally the 3rd day that I moved in here, I was like, oh my God, I'm so much less tired for the first time in ages because all I have to manage is myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to like coordinate dinner schedules and I don't have to coordinate dog walk schedules. And like, there's just so much less to manage. Like the mental load was so much lighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my environmental wellness is like through the roof. I think that's probably the highest thing for me right now.
Oh, is it 10?
Probably a 9.5 to a 10.
Oh,
yeah.
Yay.
It's pretty damn up there.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, there you go, selfies. There's our update. I hope as you were listening, you were thinking about how close are you? What number would you give yourself in terms of how close to your center you are, how far away from your center you are? And in the ones that you're thriving, identifying, well, what's contributing to me thriving? Because I really want to protect that.
Yes.
And have boundaries with myself, with others to keep that going. To the extent that I can. Life always happens. And then in the dimensions that I'm furthest from my center, or maybe that have the most weight, that contribute the most, or are the most foundational building blocks that support the other ones, what can I do to move closer to my center? Or if I actually can't do anything, how can I tolerate this, accept this, and then maybe make a long-term plan that'll eventually get me out, or maybe I just need to kind of accept it forever, you know? So really look at that, and then that helps inform your decisions that help protect you staying in your seat as much as you possibly can.
We love it.
Anything else?
That's it. We did it.
Okay, how do we end it?
I'm going to learn how to say peace in other languages.
Have a dimensional time.
Oh my God. Allie's at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to end this. All right. Our dogs need attention. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at selfcentered.pod or connect with us at selfcenteredthepod@gmail.com.
Stay self-centered, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.